know, the thing that hurts me the most is that I have to watch the NBA Finals, and they have world champion on their head. World champion of what? The United States?
Hello guys and welcome. I hope you are doing fine today. Now in this video we're gonna talk about few things, mainly sports and esports, capitalism and what's going on. Right? Guys, I'm a world champion, but I never played or deserved for my spot. I got handpicked, so I gatekeep everyone else who wants to get into esports. You know, I literally get paid to gatekeep everybody else. And I still, after 20 years, we still think that the origins of the whole moba genre is dota, which never was, but we don't care because we get a lot of money from Valve and Steam anyway, right? You know, there is always these multi-billion-dollar studios companies who ignore up to 70% of their actual player base and competition, and then they expect good results. There are multi-billion-dollar companies who are losing millions each year because of that. You have UFC, you have A1, right? Biggest American sport organization, biggest Korean esports organizations are losing millions each year. So what's going on? I mean, honestly, it's not really surprising, right? This is one of the biggest problems when you turn sports and esports into capitalism, when you lead sports with capitalism mindset, right? And we have seen this in this information age. It's kinda insane how this has affected everything. There is a reason why social media is 70% manipulative bots and promotional accounts, right? So in this video I mainly wanna focus on sports and esports, right? I mean, how can you even expect good results when you ignore up to 70% of your player base, when you haven't organized real rankings or tournaments in years, right? League of Legends, Dota 2, all these big gaming companies haven't organized real esports sports in years. There is a reason why, even though it's probably one of the most, sports are always something we love. Sports were always something that we are passionate about. When I even watch older generation, my parents, you know, and especially in Europe, sports were always a big thing, a big motivation, a big passion. But it almost feels like young people don't really care about sports anymore. And why would they? When they realize they have no chance. And this is one of the biggest problems with capitalism. It's basically ecosystem environment based on illusion, when only 10 to 15% of guys can make anything out of it. Let me show you a typical example. Smite. You can literally type smite into YouTube and you're gonna notice some patterns, right? It's always the same guys who appears at the top. You know, you have Weekend, you have Eincon, you have Fine OK, right? Biggest smite content creators. And all these guys made their careers from Pro League and World Championship. But the issue is, we never had any real tournaments or rankings. Maybe 7-10 years ago. But now, a lot of esports are just used for promotion. Because if people think you're one of the best, if you call yourself world champion, you're gonna have 10, 20 times more subscribers than anybody else. And the issue is when you literally ignore 70% of your player base, give them no chance, no opportunities. And then these same guys will later talk about why esports are dying, or why nobody takes us seriously anymore, right? If you are good at something, you deserve, you know, to get something out of it, right? And nobody has problem with that. But when you literally spend millions each year on so-called pro players that are not even pro players, They got handpicked, they didn't deserve their spots. So what's even the point of this whole esports we are doing here? We are literally just wasting millions of dollars on so-called pro players that literally just intentionally gatekeep any real passionate competition. So what's the point, right?
There, guys, you have no idea, but there is so many fake coaches in esports. People that are stuck platinum and somehow they decided, okay, I'm a coach now, and they make a presentation. They're like, oh yeah, I can do this. I'm this good of a coach, etc., etc. And then you work with.
You know, it's actually really disappointing when you realize sports and esports are not the same for the last 20 years. Just watching capitalism literally destroy everything we are passionate about, right? They don't even organize any real tournaments, they have no real rankings, they rather pay scammers and cheaters to gatekeep any passionate players out there. And that's not even the half of the problems. Then you also have divided community when it comes to game modes and regions, right? For example, we literally had no competitive scene for EU, the biggest region in Smite, nothing for international players, nothing for Arena, which was the most popular game mode at the time, right? And you can check like MOBA gaming, right? MOBA is literally the most open niche in the gaming industry, and gaming industry is one of the biggest industries out there. Because most MOBA studios only cater to conquest Dota players, because they don't realize the origins of MOBA genre are actually millions of community made maps, not some mere Dota aka conquest, right? So what they did in the last 7 years, they removed all the game modes. They didn't give everybody beside Dota fans ranked leaderboard and rewards or any online tournaments, what every competitive player wants. So they literally ignore up to 70% of their player base, and then they talk about why their game and esports are dying, right? And when you combine capitalism with social media gives you the power to manipulate millions of people, right? And this is the problem when you combine outdated algorithm, capitalism and social media. Now it's easier to manipulate more than ever. It's not about making good content anymore. Now it's just about who can manipulate more people. And most people who watch these YouTube videos are children who don't know better. It's almost like YouTube designed this platform for scammers and manipulators, where any small content creator literally has no chance anymore. And when you combine all these elements, capitalism, how broken social media is, how unfair sports are, you realize it's meaningless. It's just waste of time. In capitalism, in such environment, only 10 to 15% of the guys can make anything out of it. And when people start to realize they were just wasting their time, your whole scene is gonna die. And if you just do things right, you can get sponsorship and viewership naturally. If you just organize online tournaments, have real rankings, have basic rank leaderboard and rewards and updated maps, right? That's all you have to do. That's literally all Dana had to do. UFC could be the biggest company in the world if they would just organize real tournaments and rankings. And you don't have to make one-day tournaments. You can make tournaments that last for 3 months. The point is that you get fair rankings. But no, you guys rather sell your soul to Abu Dhabi and Trump, right? And then you wonder why nobody takes you seriously anymore, why you're losing millions each year. And then you fire all the passionate players from your studios, right? Great work, you know. This is what happens when you let capitalism guys control things that come from passion. When you turn content creation into a business, when you turn sports and esports into a business, eventually the whole system will destroy itself, you know, because it's a system based on illusion and lies. Nobody cares if you're world champion if you just get handpicked. That's like people say Faker is the best player in the world. I literally see better EU players on a daily basis in League of Legends. But they don't care, they literally handpick those guys, they pay them. The same guys you look up to are actually the reason why you have no chance anymore, why sports are dying. Most of the content creators you watch actually these days. Because most of the content creators are actually just manipulators who use countless of promotional accounts to manipulate their viewers and algorithm to make money, to survive. I understand if you just wanna survive, but when you make it impossible for 90% of your community to get anything out of it, just so you can, nah, that's being selfish, that's being ignorant. And then these same guys will talk about why esports are dying. And then the same guys will call themselves world champions for years, even though they know they are, even though they know they never were. But as long as that makes them money, right? Man, it's so disappointing. That's what you happen when you have these capitalism guys running sports. It's getting pointless and meaningless. The whole industry is dying. You know, it's, I don't know what to say. What do you guys think?